Bam. I seen this mark at 50 feet. 50 feet's what I got it set on. I set on 55 feet. When it hit, I looked at it at 50 feet and I seen this mark and I threw hard as I could cast. This is the crappie you want, guys. I threw hard as I could cast. And when I hit the water, I seen this fish come toward the splash now. Like, you know, like these fish were breaking on the surface, and he wanted to get in on the action. He come running, but 10 feet away. Because I wasn't lined up with him before the wind's blowing something that pushed me, and I couldn't see my bait, but I could see him running. I thought, he's got to see my bait, so I just kept reeling. And then I seen him turn and come toward the boat, and he hit it. I reckon he was running to see what the splash was about when he hit the water. He wasn't but like 3 foot deep. He had to be. That's all he was doing. And then once he seen my bait, he ran it down. That's the attitude you want him to have, I'm telling you. That's a nice fish too, guys. Bam. Blue moon fathead. Yeah. Bam. All right, guys. Look, I made a video this morning. Well, today. I didn't come out to 1 o'clock, 1:30. I think it was close to 1:30. It's 3 o'clock now. And I made a pour to catch with a bait, and I thought, well, let's try a swim bait. So I threw a swim bait a little bit, and they would chase it, and they would chase it. They wasn't grabbing it, and they was chasing it, and I thought, huh. They done changed their mood. You got to figure out sometimes what mood they're in. So I thought, well, let's go to a smaller bait. And this is the second fish I threw at with this bait. The first one didn't pay attention to. I threw him a couple times. This one, like I said, the first cast, he ran it down. During the day sometimes, if you start off that morning throwing purple with yellow polka dots, and you catch 2 or 3, and then they quit, I think I hung on my depth finder. Don't be afraid. Maybe let me write down a minute. Don't be afraid as you fish along and you think, well, man, the bite is slowed down. I'm seeing fish, but they're not biting me. Don't be afraid to completely change to something else, or completely change to different size bait or something. The wind's picked up now. Y'all can see the water chart. You probably can hear it in my microphone. Things have changed. When the wind picks up, that changes things. If the sun goes behind some clouds, that changes things. All right? If the boat traffic picks up, anything that can change the bite, you might need to downsize, go to a different body shape, or go to a different color. Don't be afraid to try something different. You know, like I said, I know people around this lake. I've run into them many a time. I ran into a guy at the gas station here a while back, and we was talking crappie fishing. He pulled a bait out and handed it to him. He said, this is the only thing I fish with. I fish with nothing else. And I just looked at him and went, wow. And I walked off. I didn't say, well, I'm going like, wow. If you only have one bait that you fish with in one color, I mean, that's what he said, you're losing out. If you was out here in January and February, y'all know how dirty the water was, you're losing out. You need a mixture of colors, and some days you can change color during the day and start catching more fish and it change. I listened to some guys talk about crappie fishing in a tournament yesterday. It was a podcast. And if y'all watching my side, I know you watch my channel some, thank you for the shout out. And anyway, they were talking about changing from a hair jig to a piece of plastic to a plastic color. And he said, oh, we know at 9 o'clock the bite quit. So we switched from hair jigs to plastic and we started catching them again. That's crappie fishing. Sometimes you got to be ready to change, or even change locations. You got to be ready to change, but be prepared. Carry different bait colors with you, different things. I sat down there for a minute and just thought about it. Well, I need to do something different. The last half an hour, I haven't caught a fish. I've thrown it some. They're following me only. I need to go smaller or something. You know, I need to make a complete change. So I'm just sharing with you. Don't be afraid to do that. This ain't very big, guys. They're starting to move the cover. This is the first fish I've seen here on this lake. I figured that's what he was. It's the first fish I've seen on this lake that have moved the cover. Starting to get some color back too, aren't they? Y'all know, I've been catching, they've been white. This is a little male. May start to get his black in him. Bam. This one might be a little bigger, guys. There's a limb laying out here. Looks like it's just a limb. Maybe it broke off a tree and flooded there and sunk. It's not much. And I looked over and it looked like at least 2 crappie on it. And I done threw at it about 6 or 8 times and they wouldn't pay any attention to me. And I thought, you know what? He's mean too. Did you hear him? I said, let's try banana pepper. Yeah. So I switched to banana pepper and caught him the second cast. I come back the first time and I see one of them move. There you go. That's a nice fish there, guys. He's probably right at 12 inches. All right, that's a nice fish. And that's banana pepper. And the fat head. That little fat head, guys, y'all have seen me make a lot of videos with them in January and February, I know. And you're going like, Dennis, we got tired of seeing that fat head. So now lately I've been making videos with the Tracer and the Chaos 2. Sam and I done really good with the Chaos 2 on the Eno River. It worked like a champ. And some of y'all guys have ordered them, said y'all gonna be doing some white bass fishing with them. Some of y'all guys in Texas said you're fishing for sand bass. That's right. So, same thing, right? Wow. You're just everywhere. That's a crappie too. I'm amazed at some of these fish. I mean, he come off the bottom. And I noticed, I knew he wasn't a real big fish, but it's the only thing I seen. I thought, guys, if I don't see any marks that look big, I throw it the closest one to me, it looks like it could be a crappie. I'm crappie fishing, I'm not monster fishing. I like catching the big ones. And I seen this one, I thought, let me throw at him. And I threw at him, you know the rest of the story. He run off the bottom a couple feet. I'm only 7 foot of water. That's on the chartreuse. He come running off that bottom like it was his. Fair catch and nailed it. He had the right attitude. He just needs to be 2 pounds, right? Bam. I'm not sure what the crap it is. All right, guys, this is the first fish I just got out here. Been in town, running around doing chores this morning, running errands. Some people like to say, running errands. And it is a crappie. And I fished this spot a couple weeks ago. In fact, I think y'all might already seen the video. I don't know. I can't keep up with them, guys. When I'm fishing, I said I live in that subdivision right there. Actually, I know who lives in a lot of those houses. I painted that house right there. You can see through the cedar trees. I've painted it twice. I painted it for one guy and he sold it, and another guy come in here from, I think from Ohio, and bought it, and he wanted to change the color and I painted it for him. It's a nice little house. But guys, I'm not doing much painting these days. I got 2 houses to paint this summer, and that's about it. My shoulders and stuff are about wore out. Sometimes I wake up in the mornings and I can't even reach to the top shelf, get the box of cereal out of the cabinet. Yeah, that's bad, isn't it? But if you paint and use your arms, y'all, you know, rolling a wall, rolling siding on the house, that's hard on your shoulders. Look at the eggs. That's a nice fish. That fish's not quite 12 inches. She's probably 11 3/4. All right, guys, this is on the Fat Head Minnow, Blue Moon. Now, I made this video on the Fat Head Minnow last week. I think it was, I can't remember if it was Friday or Saturday. Anyway, I don't know how many fish I caught, 5 or 6. Rain came up, the wind got bad, and I knew I wouldn't have much time. And I just quit and came on in, okay? So I thought today, you know what? I'm going to add a couple fish to it real fast. So make sure I have enough fish catches in that video. I'm telling you this because 4 or 5 fish back, all of a sudden you go, he went from a pretty sunny day to when the wind was howling to a calm, peaceful day. Look how calm the water is. Yeah, it's on a different day. And I was watching somebody one time in a video, and I read the comments, guys. And at the end, one of the guys said, man, y'all started today with a regular trolling motor, and you have an Ultratrex at the end of the video. And I thought, did they? I went back and watched it. The video went but like 12 minutes long. I went, they did. That means they had to make it on 2 different days. And if you're going to make a video on 2 different days, you got one the next day. I tell y'all, when I do that, I go, hey guys, I'm going to add a couple fish to this video. It's a different day. I tell you, because, I don't know, it's not a secret. I mean, they should have said something. They should have said, hey guys, we went in and put a new trolling motor on and went on, but they didn't. And I don't remember what the comments was. They came back and commented. This was a channel that had like 400,000 subs. Yeah. So, and you know, it's okay what they done, but I'm going to tell you if I'm on a different day, okay? This is a different day, guys. Blue Moon, Fat Head. Bam. I don't know about this fish. I'm seeing more white perch and bass than I am anything. I've seen a lot of fish that just run the bottom. It's crappie. These two fish were together and they were moving pretty fast. That's why I wasn't sure it was a crappie. And I done made a big circle, guys. I caught the other one way over there. I'm making a big circle and just watching the live scope and throwing at anything that looks like a crappie. But white perch, you usually can tell. Most of the time they're 4 or 5 together. Most of the time. Y'all probably seen the video already. I don't know if I loaded it or not. Where I caught a bunch of white perch that was by themselves in 3 foot of water. Yeah, I'm like, what are y'all doing that for? But they'll come up at your bait. Oops, I tore his mouth a little bit. Didn't like that. That's a pig. That's probably right at 13. They'll come up at your bait and smack at it, and 2 or 3 will at a time, like a flock of birds coming off the ground. That's the gold rush. Guys, the Fat Head Minnows are selling really good. I've sold a lot of them. I just restocked a couple colors this week. When I'm not working away from home, you know what I've been busy doing? Is making baits. I've sold out of the Blue Moon Chaos 2 and just restocked it yesterday. And somebody done bought a bunch of them. Some of y'all guys are buying 2, 3, 4 packs at a time. Some of you more. Some of you are buying 5, 6 packs of the same colors, you know. And that's fine. That's fine with me. I mean, but hey, go for it. But what I'm saying is that keeps me busy making baits. I've been in the shop every day. I'll be in tomorrow. I got a house to paint on. Y'all can see by the sky here. It's calling for rain tonight. I never paint outside the day before the rain. I was coming out of town. I seen some people painting. I'm going like, that's iffy. If that paint don't dry all the way through, and I don't mean just to the touch. It's got to dry all the way through. When it gets rain on it, it'll bubble. It'll get bubbles on it. And you have to go back and scrape those bubbles off. Then it looks awful. You know, you can see indents when you paint it again. When I'm painting for a customer, I want it to look good. I'm not doing something like that. I'm not painting if it's calling for rain. So I'll do something else that day before. But I've been there. I know one time I was painting a handrail on a deck. And when I left on the way home, I had a thunderstorm. I thought, well, I hope it don't rain down there. Went back the next day and was bumps all over the handrail. I had to scrape it all off, start over. I hope this one's a crappie too. He nailed it. So I done caught a catfish. I ain't caught a bass yet, but I'm surprised. I'm seeing a lot of bass, but this was 2 fish moving along slowly. And had the shape of a crappie, but I don't think it is. Wow. Yeah, it is a crappie. Guys, you just, you know, when you're watching on a live scope, you just go by the shape of them. I've got a couple neighbors. They live in the subdivision, since I live in the subdivision. One of them that lives down here next to the waterfront. He's been catching from his dock, he told me, for a couple of weeks now. That's a pig. I told you it was that's a pig. I told you it was a big mark. But it looked like crappie way it was moving. Look at that. Woohoo! I don't think he's going to be 2 pounds, but he might be 114. We'll check him. Chartreuse, fat head. I've sold out of a couple colors. I said earlier and restocked. Chartreuse is one I haven't sold many of, and I don't know why. Chartreuse is crappie candy. Right? And on a cloudy day, that's why I put it on. I thought, let's try chartreuse. It's cloudy. Cloudy day, it's hard to beat something with chartreuse in it, isn't it? 114. I guess that went pretty good, didn't it, guys? I didn't think he'd quite make 2 pounds. Oops, shut my lid on my... 114. He didn't have it. See, he's got some thickness in there, but not as much he needs. It's full of eggs. That's a nice fish, guys. Bam! That's what I'm talking about. On the fat head. Wow. All right. Hey, I catch a fish like that, feel like I've done something. And Jeffries, Hayden Jeffries? He loads up on my Fishing Lake Country Facebook. A lot of fishing stuff loads on there. And if I watch them, they keep feeding it back, right? So I watch a lot of the guides and a lot of the bass fishermen. I get a lot of the crappie guides off of the lake. He didn't say where he was fishing. He caught 70 crappie over 2 pounds in one day. And I think it was 4 over 3 pounds, him and his clients. And I'm like, oh my gosh. But you know what? I know he's fishing Mississippi. Mississippi, guys, y'all just got some great fishing out there, crappie fishing. This lake is not a crappie lake. They don't do anything in this lake to help the crappie population. I mean, there's shad in here and things like that. But it's crappie in here, and we have some. We don't have the numbers that they have on Kerr Lake above us. And they catch big ones up there. Y'all check out Wildlife Adventures. He's got a video coming up. You probably see it before this one. And he's fishing up there. And I fish up there some. It's just like today, the time I left my house was after 12, like 12:30. It's about an hour, 45 minutes to the closest boat ramp for me. So, you know, it's calling for rain. I have to know it's going to be a nice day to go up there. I went up there a couple of weeks ago and the wind blew and carried on. I kept thinking I should have stayed on Gaston, because that lake's big and it's open too. And if you get a windy day, it'll beat you to death. There you go, folks. Caught some fish on the Fat Head Minnow. When you need to downsize, when you need to just change up to get the fish bite going, don't be afraid to try something like the Fat Head Minnow. Okay, the bug, some of the smaller baits. This is Blue Moon, Buster, Wally, Mealtime. Okay, those are just a few of the colors. If you go in and check them out, there's quite about 12 colors in the Fat Head Minnow. Great bait to downsize to. Appreciate y'all watching Fishing Lake Country. If you haven't been on Lake Country Baits, check it out. There's 18 body shapes on there and over 80 color combinations. See y'all.